What's up guys, Joe here with Mischief Machine, and today we're going to take you guys on a little tour of Mischief Machine. Come on in. It's really dark in here, so we got every single light that we have turned on. So first we'll check out this new piece of equipment. We just got this yesterday. So what we're doing in here is we're putting all the part numbers on and doing some test engraving. We're going to be putting some logos on some of our products in here. So this is just a cheap CO2 laser, so all of our parts are properly numbered. You got to make sure you guys use all your safety. So if you're buying a cheap laser, make sure you buy some really good safety glasses. Over here we've got our finishing department. So this is a rotary tumbler. Once we get all those raw parts out of our CNC machine, they've got all those sharp burrs in there. We'll just dump all those in there, turn on that tumbler for a couple hours, and then they'll come out of the tumbler looking like this, nice and matte, no sharp edges. Then we'll ship these out to the anodizer. So all these here have been tumbled. We're waiting on one last batch to come out of the machine, and then we're going to send all this stuff out at one shot to get anodized. And then back here you see all of our distilled water. That's not our end of the world supply. We actually buy all of our water distilled because in our CNC machine we use a really expensive Brazier Swiss lube. And the reason that I buy that is because it's just a really good coolant on my skin and it doesn't stink. So when I walk out of the shop up to the wife, she's not like, "Get out of here, go take a shower." Kind of makes my life easier. It's kind of expensive, but it's totally worth it. And it's really good to film with. So a little bit more of the finishing department. We just got a bead blaster back here for when we want to get really good matte finish on some of our products. And then the tool crib. So when I make a new design, I'll come over here and I'll get into these drawers and I'll pick any of those tools that I need. I really like Helical Solutions stuff and the way they run their website. It's really awesome how I can get on their website, pick a tool, download that tool in my software, and then I'm good to go and up and running. Over here in the back, this is where all of our material comes in. So we'll buy it in bar stock and our supplier will deliver it to us. Then I'll sit back here for a couple hours and chop all that material up, sand all those sharp edges off with our little cheap Harbor Freight sander, and then we'll prep all that stock so that it's ready to run in the CNC machine. Over here, this is the very first piece of Mischief Machine CNC equipment. So it's just a small Tormach 440. Every single one of Mischief Machine's products that's made out of aluminum is made in this machine. So over here in this drawer, I've got a bunch of these pieces of stock already manufactured with that dovetail. So these are ready to be loaded into the machine. So right now we've got our Tormach Micro Arc 4 set up to run some flashlight mount caps. This really helps us make our parts a lot quicker. Also, since it's all done in one setup, I get a much more accurate part. I'm not chasing tolerances back and forth. I put the piece of material in there, I pull out a completely finished part, and I'm done. And then over here, while my machine's over there running, this is where all the magic happens. So I'll be designing a new component or programming that new component that I've designed or creating new prints or anything to make sure that I'm manufacturing that part the same way every time I make it. Even though I design it, I make it, I still create an entire part print so that while I'm sitting here I can get my calipers out and I can measure those components. I'll get all my gauges out of my drawers, thread gauges, whatnot, laid out here with my print, so that as I'm making stuff, I make sure that I'm inspecting what I'm making, because that's the worst thing you can do is make a bunch of bad parts. And no customer wants a bunch of M-LOK parts that don't conform to M-LOK specifications and then don't fit on their gun. So everything that we make is inspected by yours truly before it gets tumbled and then sent out for anodizing and then packed up and shipped to you. This is also our little film studio. It's the best kind of space to get really good depth in our videos. So We've got it set up so that our gun rack's back there on the back, always keeping me company while I'm alone in the garage. I'm never actually alone. So right now I'm going to show you guys how I manufacture a flashlight mount, and specifically we're going to look at the manufacturing process of this flashlight mount cap. So that's going to be this part that's going to be coming off the machine for a Streamlight MacroStream USB. So let's go check it out. So I made my own little custom operator board. So when I've got my program ready to go, I just hit that green button and we're off and running. Alright guys, while we wait for that to finish up, we're going to come over here and we're going to just look at some of the products that we make inside that machine. So a lot of the stuff that we make are these really cool kind of designer vertical grips. These are all made in that 4th axis. So they're a really clean design. It really saves me a lot of time to be able to rotate that part around with that micro arc. It makes some sling mounts. We also make our flashlight mounts in there, so the bottom and the top. The other thing in the shop back here we've got our really quiet stealth air compressor down there. That thing is so quiet, so when that thing kicks on, it doesn't interrupt. It never interrupts my conversation. And then another big important thing to have in your shop is some of the secret sauce in here. So if you know, you know. Stare at M1. And then, let's not mention the Wrangle Star Loctite 243. Something like it. Alright, so it looks like the CNC machine finished up, so let's go check that out. Before we get into our CNC and we use those air tools, let's make sure we put our safety glasses back on. Alright, so that flashlight mount's all done. Now all I have to do is tweak it, snap it off. We'll take it over here into the tumbler. Toss it in. And let's get rid of those sharp burrs. And as soon as that's done tumbling, it'll come out with a nice deburred finish, so there's no more sharp edges on this part. It's nice and smooth, so you're not going to scratch and scrape your hand with it. And then once that's done, we're going to send it out for anodize, and when we get it back, we're going to go ahead and put it upstairs in our stock room where all of our orders get fulfilled. So let's go check that out right now. Alright, so before we head out to our fulfillment center, I got to make sure I get all the metal chips off my feet, or, you know, my wife will kill me. So welcome to the Mischief Machine fulfillment zone. So my wife works in here pretty much full time. Any of you guys' orders that come through, she sits in here during the day and she'll pick and pack your order, put all the hardware in there. So here's a bunch of our throw levers. This is where we stock almost every single one of our items. Some of the stuff is packed away in the closet for when we need it. She'll grab it. So we stock every single one of the throw levers that we have on our website, all the metal stuff that we're making. This is our back order wall, so anything that's on back orders up there. This is where we'll pack and pull all the hardware that you need for your items. Looks like we're working on packing up a bunch of our brand new flashlight mounts. There's a bunch of those we got to pack up. This is also our editing computer, so she's editing all of the new logos. We're working on something a lot smaller so we can laser engrave a really tiny Mischief Machine logo on there. So thanks for coming out and checking out our tiny little American business. We work really hard to make you guys some quality made in America products. It's not a bunch of made in China garbage. Thanks for checking out our cool little family owned business. We'll catch you on the next one. If you're interested in any of Mischief Machine's products, head over to mischiefmachine.com.